The Oklahoma City Thunder emerging as one of the most lethal teams in the entire NBA. They currently sit second in the Western Conference behind only the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the scary part is they're only getting better. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the team's oldest starter, and the MVP candidate's only 25 years old. Chet Holmgren is currently a Rookie of the Year candidate and gets a ton of media attention for his elite skills for a 7-footer. And Josh Giddey earns recognition for his craftiness and ability to do a little bit of everything on the basketball court. But one player doesn't get nearly enough media attention for his truly sensational abilities. And we don't say that lightly. That player is Jalen Williams. The man known as J-Dub is truly one of the brightest young future stars that the NBA has to offer. And we're not throwing that term around lightly. Though he often gets overshadowed by his teammates, J-Dub is somehow quietly proving that he could develop into one of the NBA's most dangerous weapons. The fact is that there really aren't many mature young players in the entire league that display the skill set that J-Dub brings to the table. Coming out of Santa Clara, J-Dub didn't get as much hype as other prospects because he'd already played 3 years of college basketball. So as an overager, his upside may have been overlooked. He was also the third highest drafted player in Oklahoma City behind Chet Holmgren and Ousmane Dieng, despite getting drafted 12th overall. For these reasons, he sort of went under the radar despite being a 6'6" lead guard at Santa Clara with a freakish 7'2" wingspan. Not only that, but J-Dub's built like a freight train and is proven to have an extremely high basketball IQ. He immediately fit into Oklahoma City's offense as a glue piece who could do a lot of different things at a very high level. Williams entered the league as a capable three-point shooter that could put the ball on the floor and play defense. But what was most surprising about him in his rookie season was his instincts as an off-ball player that made him a seamless fit into the Thunder's offensive attack. Williams has solid passing vision and has a unique ability to make cuts to the rim and finish with power and traffic. It wasn't how he typically played in college, where he started as a ball-dominant point guard in his senior year, but it was a style that earned him playing time alongside SGA and Giddey, the two stars of the team. But as the season progressed, J-Dub continued to develop at a rapid pace. In fact, in his final 21 games of the season, Williams averaged 19.1 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 4.4 assists, while shooting 44.1% from beyond the arc. Not only that, but he basically played and defended every single position on the court at a capable level, despite only being in his rookie season. His performances earned him second place in Rookie of the Year voting, only to Orlando's first overall selection, Paolo Banchero. In the offseason, he made noticeable adjustments to his game and his body. When he showed up to Summer League, he weighed 218 pounds. And yet the media was far more focused on Chet Holmgren and his recovery from injury. Another interesting aspect about J-Dub in comparison to his highly touted teammates is the power he plays with. Unlike the rest of his team that rely more on craftiness, J-Dub is like a rock who can throw it down with authority. And often, young players that rely on athleticism have a reputation of being raw or playing reckless. But that's not the case with J-Dub. He actually rarely does too much and lets the game come to him as he fits into the offense. Some people question how he'll develop in Oklahoma City with so many young mouths to feed in the offense, but head coach Mark Daigneault clearly understands that this guy has massive potential. In fact, he'd recently had this to say about J-Dub. He's a player that makes all the right plays. That was one of the things that popped about him, even in college, is like he just lets the game tell him what to do. He has no problem just getting off it and living to fight another touch. We absolutely need him to be a head-of-the-snake-type player and a creator for us. And the coach isn't just blowing smoke. He's actively finding new ways to utilize him in the offense to maximize his development. While last year J-Dub played primarily on the wing, Daigneault has been giving him chances to run the offense while SGA's off the floor. And believe it or not, he's actually proven to be even more dangerous with more responsibility. Nowadays, when SGA goes off the floor, J-Dub comes in and takes over. Not just scoring, but as a facilitator and lead decision maker. In fact, in his career in games that SGA hasn't played, J-Dub averages 21.2 points, 5.8 assists, and 4.6 rebounds per game. And we know he's only getting better from here. So some questions that arise are, how can he continue to develop in OKC alongside SGA, and what's his ultimate upside? And it's an interesting question. The truth is that we don't remember a lot of players in NBA history that profile quite like J-Dub. In some ways, he reminds us of Boston Celtics legendary swingman Paul Pierce. Pierce had plenty of moves in his arsenal and was built like a truck, somewhat like J-Dub. But beside SGA, J-Dub likely will never have the ball in his hands as often as Pierce did with Boston, which will definitely change the course of his development. What we can expect from him is to be Mr. Everything for the Oklahoma City Thunder as they gain chemistry and compete with the league's big boys for years moving forward. The organization is in the envious position of having budding stars all over the court with extremely unique skill sets. They're all long, can shoot, and are all above average passers at their position. We think that they're a little young to win a championship this season, though they have an obscene amount of talent for a group so young. But as they gain experience and chemistry while also harnessing their skills, they shouldn't be overlooked. If you look back in history, there are very few teams loaded with this much young talent in their system. The Oklahoma City Thunder around the year 2010 come to mind when they had Durant, Westbrook, and Harden all on the same team. So kudos to Sam Presti for building two different teams in two different eras more talented than most organizations have ever assembled. However, that group wasn't able to play together in unison. Harden proved too talented to remain as a sixth man and didn't show the ability or willingness to dominate away from the ball quite like J-Dub. We're certain that Presti has learned from the experience of losing Harden the importance of his team developing into roles that complement one another. And if J-Dub's play thus far in his career is any indication, it seems that he's on board to develop a game that fits into the Thunder's needs. But what do you guys think? Is J-Dub a future star in the league? Will his development be hindered by the presence of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Or is he the perfect fit as a complementary player in Oklahoma City? And how long before this group proves themselves as true title contenders? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel for more sports news and insights.